one brand strategy impacts you each and every day that you're on this planet. If you go online, you see this being used time and time again. Watch broadcast TV, especially in the evening, and you'll see this being used. Companies like Apple, Nike, Kentucky Fried Chicken, and M&M's, just as the most successful YouTubers, use this to grab attention, because everything when it comes to driving results begins with attention. You can't land a new client, you can't build a list or sell a product or grow a successful YouTube channel without attention. And in this video, I'm going to share how you too can implement this one brand strategy to increase your results. Stick around.
Brian G. Johnson!
Hey, it's me, Brian G., helping you to stake your claim and amplify your message so you can grab attention, be heard, and have positive impact across the world. This is a particular video on brand strategy, and it's a part of a series on my channel, Brian G. Johnson TV. Now, if you haven't watched the previous video, that's understanding your target market, make sure you watch that now, as it'll help you get even more value from this very video. I'll link that previous video in the YouTube card. Now, we're talking about really in this strategy how to communicate the value you'll bring to people's lives. Another way to look at this is, why should people care about you? Whether you're trying to grow a channel on YouTube, or increase the amount of clients that you have, or maybe you want to launch a website. At the end of the day, if you've got a project, a marketing project, well, you want to start right here. And what we're talking about today is brand messaging. And what does that really mean? Well, it's taking the time to get really clear on the value you're going to bring to other people and why they should care. And once you spend the time to really understand why people should care, you can craft a message that's easy for those people in your target market to understand and get. It's that why should people care? And that's what great branding is all about. It's about taking your message and whittling it down to the essence, to boiling it down to the essence, and then using that messaging in your branding so people get it right away. You know, if you land on my website, you'll see stake your claim and amplify your message. And that is my value proposition. And that's really what we're talking about today. We live in a complicated, noisy world, and we're not going to get a chance to get people to remember much about us. No company is. That was actually a quote from Steve Jobs, and it's in a video, and I'll play a clip for you in just a moment, where Steve talks about communicating values and making it really easy for people to understand what you're about. And again, Steve was addressing Apple, and he was saying, you know, we're not going to get a chance to get people to remember much about us. And in this particular presentation, Steve was rolling out and sharing the new ad that Apple would be rolling out based on the Think Different campaign. And that was a value proposition, and that was brand messaging that Apple used to communicate why people should listen. And again, this is the kind of thing that you see being used again and again and again by the most successful companies, as well as some very successful YouTubers. The very best YouTubers have a value proposition, and they share that so people understand what they're going to gain. My value proposition, again, stake your claim and amplify your message. And that speaks directly to people that are interested in content marketing, people that are interested in using the web to grow their results, to make money online, to share a message with the world, to have a positive impact. And that's exactly what you want to do, is identify how can you craft a value proposition that you can share so people quickly get it and understand it. Let's roll that clip right now, and let's hear Steve Jobs talk about it.
To me, marketing is about values. This is a very complicated world. It's a very noisy world. And we're not going to get a chance to get people to remember much about us. No company is. And so we have to be really clear on what we want them to know about us. Now, Apple, fortunately, is one of the half a dozen best brands in the whole world. Right up there with Nike, Disney, Coke, Sony. It is one of the greats of the greats, not just in this country, but all around the globe. And but even a great brand needs investment and caring if it's going to retain its relevance and vitality. And the Apple brand has clearly suffered from neglect in this area in the last few years. And we need to bring it back. The way to do that is not to talk about speeds and feeds. It's not to talk about MIPS and megahertz. It's not to talk about why we're better than Windows. The dairy industry tried for 20 years to convince you that milk was good for you. It's a lie, but they tried anyway. And the sales were going like this. And then they tried Got Milk, and the sales are going like this. Got Milk doesn't even talk about the product. Matter of fact, it focuses on the absence of the product. But the best example of all, and one of the greatest jobs of marketing in the universe has ever seen is Nike. Remember, Nike sells a commodity. They sell shoes. And yet, when you think of Nike, you feel something different than a shoe company. In their ads, as you know, they don't ever talk about the product. They don't ever tell you about their air soles and why they're better than Reebok's air soles. What does Nike do in their advertising? They honor great athletes and they honor great athletics. That's who they are. That's what they are about. Apple spends a fortune on advertising. You'd never know it. You'd never know it. So when I got here, Apple just fired their agency. They were doing a competition with 23 agencies that, 4 years from now would pick one. And we blew that up, and we hired Shyte, the ad agency that I was fortunate enough to work with years ago. We created some award-winning work, including the commercial voted the best ad ever made in 1984 by advertising professionals. And we started working about 8 weeks ago. And the question we asked was, our customers want to know who is Apple and what is it that we stand for? Where do we fit in this world? And what we're about isn't making boxes for people to get their jobs done, although we do that well. We do that better than almost anybody in some cases. But Apple's about something more than that. Apple, at the core, its core value, is that we believe that people with passion can change the world for the better. That's what we believe. And we've had the opportunity to work with people like that. We've had an opportunity to work with people like you, with software developers, with customers who have done it in some big and some small ways. And we believe that in this world, people can change it for the better. And that those people that are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones that actually do.
And that was the beginning of Think Different. So Apple took the time. They hired Shyte advertising agency. They went to work together and they came up with Think Different. And it was not even about computers or megahertz. And if you really look at the advertising today, they'll talk about that in an hour presentation. But a 30-second ad spot talks about being creative, about sharing your passion with the world, about communicating and whatnot. That's what Apple is all about. If you look at Nike, Steve talks about Nike, the most magnificent marketing job. Nike is all about athletics. It's about celebrating athletes. Just do it. One simple phrase that embodies what Nike is all about. So take your brand, take your marketing, and boil it down to a simple phrase, a word, maybe a few phrases. Stake your claim, amplify your message, and then you can use that in your website header. You can use that on your YouTube channel art. You can incorporate that on social media graphics, your Facebook cover, your Twitter cover image. You can use it when you speak to people. You can verbally mention it and say it in a video like I have or on a podcast. And by using repetition, you can remind people why they should care, why they should listen, and people will get it. You know, if you go to my YouTube channel page, you see, hey, stake your claim, amplify your message. And as I add videos to the page and I grow my new channel, it'll all fit for people that are interested in content marketing. So by first understanding who your target market is, and again, if you haven't watched that video, check that out, YouTube card, and then it's crafting messaging that your target market will understand. It's communicating your values, and when you do that, it's really powerful. So that's some examples of how you can incorporate this brand strategy yourself to get great results. Now in the next video in this series, which is Memorable Messenger, I'm going to share some strategies that you can apply when it comes to creating a brand name or a product name that's memorable, one that's easy for people to remember, and one that stands out. Hey, if you're new to the channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button right now. I go ahead and I upload new videos every Wednesday and Thursday, sometimes on Fridays. And if you appreciated this specific video, go ahead and hit that thumbs up button. Let me know you enjoyed it. You know, I'd love to get your feedback on this strategy. Do you have a value proposition? Do you implement or leverage brand messaging yourself? Leave me a comment and share your value proposition or where you're at with that. And I'd love to get your feedback. You sure talk a lot, mister.
Hey boy, you better keep it down over there.
What do you think, you're the Lone Ranger?
What?
Friend, I come to you today with this urgent cry for your help. You see, every day millions of teeny tiny beings are dying an untimely death, and you can help. Of course, I'm talking about teeny tiny bubbles that are trapped inside bottles and cans, just like this delicious Perrier that's imported from France. You can help. You can make the change. You can save the teeny tiny bubbles. Why not enjoy some refreshing, unbubbly, bubbly water and save the teeny tiny bubbles today? Thank you.